We're live. Do it live. Do it live.
That was a good reel too, man.
What was a good reel?
The carbonite.
The carbon. Boy, we're talking about something completely unrelated. Hey, thank you. Welcome to the StewKast on the Combat Zone Network, a subsidiary of the Fans First Sports Network. I am Lou Marconi at Marconi251 on Instagram, at Marconi1973 on X. My friend, co-host, and hetero partner at Corey Castle. Corey Castle, he's at Corey Castle everywhere. Thank you for joining us. It's a Wednesday. It's 12:35. It's time to go live. We're doing it live.
It's Wednesday afternoon. You know what that means.
That's what the StewKast. We're going to talk some wrestling.
AEW tells you whatever night it is, and you know what that means every time they're on TV.
That means you're going to watch Tony Khan's product.
It means someone will watch it. I don't know who, but someone's going to be watching it.
Yeah. I was going to say, hey, just kind of want to let everybody know, I do the Fans First Sports Network as well with I cover the Cleveland Browns for that. And I was covering the game that was at now Huntington Bank Field. It's been named that, but at the time of last SummerSlam was Cleveland Browns Stadium. And we were there. And it was just kind of making me think like there's a huge snowstorm when the Browns played the Steelers.
There's no snowstorm at SummerSlam.
No, there wasn't.
That was in summer.
I'm just sitting there thinking, could you imagine if you're out here in a snowstorm trying to wrestle a match? Like, God, yeah. I think Machine Gun Kelly might have done better against LA Knight. Machine Gun Kelly and it was Jake Paul, wasn't it? Or was it Logan Paul?
Yeah, Machine Gun Kelly didn't have a match.
No, he was there. He was there.
Yeah.
Well, they had the halftime show. They were playing music from people from Ohio. Machine Gun Kelly was one of them. Most of the people in the crowd were like, "Yeah, f this guy."
I didn't know Machine Gun Kelly was from Ohio.
The crowd like, yeah, he's from Cleveland.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Machine Gun Kelly. I know not a whole lot of people are, but.
No. Well, it's interesting because there's talk about a new stadium to be built and it's going to be a dome. And there's like all this and people during the game, like it was fun to watch on TV to see the snow, but people during the game were talking about, yeah, it'd be nice if we were in a dome right now. So it's kind of because you're sitting there and you're freezing. And also too, with the dome, there's plans that we should have a WrestleMania in Cleveland. So that would be because we've had, I was at the very first Survivor Series in '87 at the Richfield Coliseum. So I was there for that. So that's just, what you're seeing here is, just with Cleveland in November, it's lake effect snow. It happens all the time. But hey, thank you for joining us. We're going to talk some Raw and Smackdown. We've already started with some wrestling talk on buildings and stuff. And I think you were at WrestleMania that was at in Philly.
I was at two WrestleManias that both took place in Philly. I was at WrestleMania 15 when I was 15, and I was at WrestleMania 40 when I was 40.
Interesting.
They both took place in Philadelphia. The WrestleMania 15 was 98, 99, something like that. Mm-hmm. It was Rock and Austin was the main event.
Okay.
Mick Foley was the ref, I think.
Okay.
That was awesome, man. I appreciated that so much. With the really funny part, and I'll try to clean this up a little bit. I wound up on like a Shotgun Saturday Morning or something because there was like a broadcaster who stopped us as we were walking out of WrestleMania, and she put the microphone in our faces. My friend Scott, my friend BJ, and somebody else. I forget who else. Maybe Sean, my friend Sean.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, "What did you think of WrestleMania?" And we were like, "We loved it." And they were like, "What was your favorite part?" And we're like, "Michael's coming out. That was pretty awesome." And then my friend Scott's dad was drunk, and he brought us, and he was like, "The whole show was effing awesome." And he said the word, and the lady was like, "Cut. We got to do that all again. Sir, don't curse. Don't do that." So they did it again without Scott's dad yelling the whole show. Effing awesome.
The drunk guy in the back that's swearing.
Right. WrestleMania.
Unbelievable. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit of Raw while we're here, since that's what we're here to do. Next week, we'll be on again every Wednesday. Today's the day before Thanksgiving. Check out our sponsor at Hemisphere Coffee Roasters. The link's on the details of the show. Please check it out. Order up some good coffee. And as well, but before we talk about Raw, why don't we take a moment here to do a quick break right now? All right, we're back from our sponsors. Thank you, Corey. Everybody, okay. Thanks for sticking with us. All right, so go ahead. Let's talk about Raw. I saw that that your favorite Nia Jax was main event.
I
Go ahead.
somehow I think I fast forwarded through her match again. I think I fast forwarded it through her match again to see if there would be any angle that would take place at the end, like to close Raw out, because you always want to close like on something major. And I don't remember anything. I think
Bailey helped Nia Jax lose.
Oh yeah, okay. So Bailey is going to be the fifth member of the Babyface Survivor Series War Games here.
Yeah,
team.
yeah, yeah.
So who do you think they're going to say took Jade Cargill out?
I have no idea, to be honest with you. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of suspect it'll be something set up by Bianca Belair.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of suspect it'll lead to their breaking up as a team and feuding. Bianca Belair's theme song says, "I never needed you at all," right in there. The lyrics of her theme song are, "I never needed you at all."
I didn't even think of that. Huh. Wow. That's interesting. Well, what do you think that that'll probably played out up at? We'll find out Saturday night. Yeah.
I said to Alyssa, as they panned out of seeing her like laying there on the glass on that car, I was like, it was Bianca Belair's husband. I was like, she sent her husband to go take out Jade Cargill so that she could establish an alibi because she was down at the ring.
Yeah, that's interesting way you put that. Let's see. Huh. Yeah, I think you're right. I could see that happening. But do you think it's one of those things where they're leading us this way and they're going to swerve us to somebody else that we would never expect?
I don't think it's necessary to be swerved on this. I think people will be swerved enough by the reveal of it being Bianca Belair somehow being behind it. I mean, everything else would be kind of like everything and anything else would be kind of like like that seems to make the most like. I bet you they're going to be like, oh well, she's injured now. They have to vacate the tag titles, and then Bianca will be like, see, I told you I never needed you. You're the reason that we don't have the belts anymore. You're the reason this and that, and like it could be starting to lead to the reveal of her being responsible for the attack. You remember the Triple H beating Triple H jumping Shawn Michaels backstage at WrestleMania or to lead up to SummerSlam 2002?
Yeah.
This would be something similar.
Yeah, I'm that old. Yeah, I gotcha. Well, things after a while, things kind of have a way of recycling.
Mm-hmm.
So they do. They recycle things all the time. It's a tried and true formula. A lot of times, it's just of how to get interest in angles and things going. So it always works somehow.
I remember loving that whole Triple H Shawn Michaels feud in 02 leading up to SummerSlam. Like him like putting him through the car window and all that stuff. It was like it was a dream. Like, Shawn Michaels was my favorite, and then Shawn Michaels was out, and then Triple H was my favorite. And then seeing them feud with each other, I was like, this is pretty right on, pretty spot on for. I'm the key demographic for this. I'm the core audience.
You're getting up there, though.
That was 22 years ago.
This man will be turning 41 on Sunday. Just wish him a happy birthday on Sunday. So just so you know, I had to do that. He gives me shit about being older. I'm like 10 and a half years older than him. So he gives me shit about being older than him all the time. So, all right. Well, a little bit more about Raw. I think that what do you think they're doing with the tag team angle? Because they had the Viking guys, the Warriors, because they got screwed out of the titles, which would great.
Well, it's weird because like they have a whole lot of like teams that are like mid breakup. Right. It's confusing to know what they're going to do as far as like because like Tommaso Ciampa is turning on Johnny and like I guess Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins are breaking up.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And it's just weird timing to know what they're going to do with the Viking Raiders or the War Raiders, whatever. Dude, you know what I say about their logo, like their new shirts that say like the War Raiders on them.
Mm-hmm.
The design looks exactly like this Nickelodeon show that I used to watch when I was a little kid called Wild and Crazy Kids. Like the logo, War Raiders, looks like the Wild and Crazy Kids logo.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember. See, I don't remember that. So it might be.
No, I mean, most people don't. Especially if you're 10 and a half years older than me. You weren't watching Wild and Crazy Kids on Nickelodeon.
No, it wasn't my thing. So,
I mean, I was probably 9 when that show was on. So you were going into adulthood at that point.
Yeah, let me see here. I'm looking through here. I'm gonna go I'm looking up we'll talk a little bit of SmackDown now, and then we'll look at we'll kind of do a preview of Survivor Series and what we think. All right, here we go. Go ahead. Let's talk about SmackDown. I was ecstatic at what they did with CM Punk.
Yeah, that was awesome.
But the way Paul Heyman is the P.T. Barnum. Okay, he knows how to work a crowd. He knows how to use the mic. He knows exactly what to do, and that was absolutely beautiful. That was typical Paul Heyman. I've known the guy; he does that all the time. So, well, go ahead. Give me your thoughts on it, man.
I unfortunately, and you know the way I am with this. It's like I don't let spoilers actually spoil or ruin anything for me. Like it's not something I don't get upset about spoilers at all. But I had this spoiled for me. I saw it on YouTube. Like I logged on to YouTube and it showed a thumbnail that said like the 5th member, and it was CM Punk and Paul Heyman was back.
Yeah.
Did you think that they were going to kind of drag it out a little bit more because the number was disconnected?
Yeah. I don't know. No. I think it was a good lead up to Survivor Series. They're trying to draw money. They're trying to make money. So, all right. Let's speaking of Survivor Series, let's look at this. This is a match rundown right here. Roman Reigns, the Usos, Jay and Jimmy Uso, Sami Zayn, CM Punk versus the Bloodline, which is Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga Loa,
and
Bronson Reed. Yeah, so that's that match.
So
go ahead. That's what we're kind of leading into.
Bronson Reed is full-fledged in the new Bloodline now, right? So like even beyond War Games, he's going to be in the Bloodline now. He was up throwing the finger up, so I assume that means he's a full-fledged member now.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in the match. He's a full-fledged member. That's the only way the match would work. So yeah.
Mhm,
Next, so that'll be fun to watch. World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther versus Damian defending against Damian Priest. Interesting.
mhm. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I I I don't think it's time for Gunther to drop the belt yet. I don't. Uh, I mean, they're doing this whole thing like he's beatable now because he lost to Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel, but like that, like they're giving that way more importance than it deserves, really.
Yeah.
Um, not to say that it wasn't an important match, or not to say that it wasn't important to put Cody over the way that they put him over, because that was the exact way to put over champion versus champion.
Yeah,
For
it
sure.
was fine. It was yeah, that was I liked it. I liked the crown jewel. I liked how they put over Liv Morgan too.
Mhm.
Speaking of which, that's the next War Games match is the women. Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Bailey, Naomi, and Io Sky versus Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. War Games match. I'm not making any predictions because I don't like to do that, but I'm just kind of going over this. Would this be the blow off with Rhea Ripley and Liv? You
I
think?
doubt it. No, there's too many other moving parts in it. You know what
Okay.
I mean? There's too
Okay.
many other moving parts that the finality of a blow off wouldn't make sense in a War Games match with these
Yeah.
two.
Oh, they did this in Raw. They did the angle for to lead up to this three way for the Intercontinental Championship. Braun
Mhm.
Breaker, Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
dude, I thought the match that uh, Ludwig Ludwig and Braun Breaker were having was really good. The run in from Sheamus. Uh, so, dude, sometimes a run in can ruin a perfectly good match. You know, uh,
true,
uh,
true.
the but I thought what Kaiser and Breaker were doing in the match was good.
Mhm.
What Breaker does with Sheamus is good. What Kaiser does with Sheamus is good. So all three of them in an intercontinental
I think
three way
I
is
think
going
it'll
to
be a
be
great match. It's
pretty
gonna be fun.
good. Yeah,
It's gonna be a
it's
fun
going to.
match to watch. Another one I'm very much looking forward to is the last one that's listed here, and I don't think it'll be the last match of the show. I'm thinking the last match of the show would be the Bloodlines fighting each other,
Well, sure, I'm sure.
probably because I think they
Mhm.
got to do the war games. They got to set up the cage and stuff.
Right, right.
Um, is LA Knight versus Nakamura?
Hmm. Yeah.
Ooh, I enjoy watching LA Knight work. I enjoy
Mhm.
watching him wrestle. He's such a great talented guy, and give me your thoughts on because I know they did the angle on SmackDown with him, and they're building up to this. So
I, I think I don't I don't think LA Knight needs to be a champion. I don't think he needs to be United States champion, but I don't necessarily think it's time for Shinsuke Nakamura to take it from him. I think it's the torture. Uh, but if he did take it from him, watching LA Knight chase the belt is more um, would draw more fans to watch it, or more fans to come to the events to see,
Mhm.
because the money's in the chase from the babyface forever.
Oh yeah, that's the way it's always worked. It's kind of the one of the what was up in the Northeast, the old school Vince McMahon senior model was having the strong baby face champion and the monster heels thrown at him. That was their business model, and that was the Bruno model that Vince went national with. And he had two people. In that Vince McMahon documentary, it was always interesting how he had two people in mind. His first thought was Dusty Rhodes.
Right? Yeah, that was new to me. I had never heard about how Dusty Rhodes was his original pick over Hulk
Dusty
Hogan.
Dusty was probably one of the more charismatic guys out
Mm.
there, arguably, and he did work for Vince Senior. He came in, he did those. Him and Superstar Billy Graham sold out Madison Square Garden. because they knew how to talk the people into coming. So
Mhm.
they were him and Superstar Billy Graham were really good at that. So to kind of put it in certain on certain terms was just that it's he went with Hogan because Dusty wasn't going to leave. I think where he was at, and because I don't know, that could have changed wrestling history forever. A lot of things could have.
Well, I think the business practices that Vince McMahon was doing at the time was seen as like unethical to a lot of people in the business, and I think maybe Dusty at that time was like, "Look, I don't want to screw over uh, this business. I don't want to screw over all these people,"
Yeah,
and, and he
and that
declined it.
and then I think shortly after that he ended up leaving Eddie Graham and he left Florida and went to Crockett's. Took his whole
Mhm.
crew to North Carolina, the Crockett's, and I think he had to get Magnum to come with him because Barry Windham went to New York because he was going to have Barry Windham with him. Yeah, there's a lot of stories about that. And Barry, it was like I said, there's a lot of things going on with the business. There's a lot of moving parts that have happened. And Terry, I remember hearing the stories that normally what you did back in the day, you did business with a handshake.
Mhm.
That's you
Yeah.
didn't have contracts, you didn't have all this stuff, and he basically said, "Okay, hey, I'm leaving. I'm going to work in New York now. I'll finish up with you on this date," and they'll finish you up. I mean, that's how it worked, and
Mhm.
they'll figure something out. He just left. He just stopped showing up, and they called him and said, "Hey, where are you? What are you doing?" He goes, "Well, Vince is paying me more to stay home." And they could have,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
yeah. He burned a major bridge doing that, and he took a huge risk when he did that. So
yeah. I mean, it could have completely failed, and then he would have just been somebody who screwed somebody else over and got no benefits from it.
yeah, yeah. So I know we always joked. I remember in the late '90s talking to like Cue Ball and other people, we're just saying the old man's rolling in his grave, Vince McMahon Senior, because he
Mhm.
would have never went along with anything. This is during like in the height of the Attitude Era too. Oh
Mhm.
hell no! Oh no way would Vince Senior have gone with that. So it is what it is, man. Go ahead. Any final thoughts leading up to the Survivor Series? Anything you got? Anything I mean, I'm most looking forward to LA Knight Nakamura because I just think it's going to be a great match to watch. Also, the three-way with the Intercontinental more than the cage matches for
I've
me.
I've been a fan of Shinsuke Nakamura for some
Hmm.
time now. I
Absolutely.
before he came to WWE, when New Japan first started playing on Access TV, when they had JR was the commentator.
Yeah.
uh, and they for a little while they had Mauro Ranallo, who you recently saw commentating the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight, alongside Rosie Perez. And I don't think we've talked enough about how that was the weirdest pairing uh, for commentary, was Rosie Perez, Roy Jones Jr., and Mauro Ranallo. Uh, uh, Rosie Perez. I kept thinking this joke in my head while that fight was happening, but I didn't think anyone would get it. And I knew Alyssa wouldn't get it because she's too young. But saying uh, Rosie Perez was about to be like, "White man can't punch,"
Yeah, we should end the show on that note.
because because she was the star of White Man Can't Jump. You remember that movie that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
30
yes.
years ago?
Yes, with Wesley Snipes before he dodged the IRS. Right. And Woody Harrelson before he got into hemp. All right. Hey guys, thank you for joining us. That'll wrap it up for the StewKast. I appreciate it. Hey, this is a Combat Zone Network show, which is a subsidiary of the Fans First Sports Network. Check out Hemisphere Coffee Roasters. The link is in the details of the show. We appreciate each and every one of you. I will also be having the Burning River Browns talks on Friday nights on the Fanatical Elves Network. And Corey, go ahead and plug away what you got.
Yeah, I put a new episode of my podcast, Evolving,
Mm-hmm.
out.
All right.
So that came out on Monday. Jeff Flipman, he's a really he has a podcast called The Garden of Doom. He just interviews people about some paranormal stuff and different like out of this world theories. He also is a lawyer, and sometimes he goes on. I'm a huge fan of Wrestling Soup. They have these like legal briefs that Jeff Lippman does on Wrestling Soup, where he just breaks down like the legal aspects of the most important stories in the wrestling news, like the Janelle Grant case, like going into like these like firings and different contracts with AEW. He goes all into these and goes from a legal aspect as somebody who works for a law firm, and
Cool.
it's really
Check it
cool.
out.
So check out Jeff Lippman. Join me on Evolving with Corey Castle. He's definitely interested in you and I being guests on his show, as well as being guests with us on
Reach out to me.
StewPod or on
we'll
here.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. All right, folks. Well, that's going to wrap it up, Corey. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for joining the StewKast. And we will see you again next Wednesday, and we will talk Survivor Series and War Games. Have a great week. And guys, hey, enjoy your Thanksgiving. Travel safe and enjoy it. Enjoy your family while you have them. Always be appreciative, be thankful, and be grateful. Thank you, Corey.
Check you later.